guys, I'm Erin with Botanically Built, and in this video, I'm gonna be showing you guys my 5 top tips on how you can start living a healthier life. The standard American diet is packed with highly processed meats, refined carbohydrates, high-fat dairy intake, as well as high sugar intakes. All of these foods are some of the reasons why Americans are dying sooner and are experiencing higher rates of disease and cancer than many other developed countries. It's my mission to show you guys how you can start embracing your plant curiosity and choosing more plant-based, whole foods options. So to get started, we're gonna be starting with tip number 1, and that is fiber. Fiber is not sexy, but it is so important. And studies show that Americans are getting less than 15 grams of fiber per day. This is a recipe for disaster for a couple of reasons. With the standard American diet being high in animal protein and low in fiber, this is going to predispose someone to something called protein fermentation, which is essentially where protein is putrefying and rotting in your gut if you're not having enough fiber. NutritionFacts.org cites protein fermentation as a main contributor to colorectal cancer and many other indigestion issues and complications like IBS, ulcerative colitis, prostate cancer, and breast cancer, because the fiber is not there to cleanse things. These are some of the reasons why Americans and everyone needs to be getting a minimum of 20 to 30 grams of fiber per day. Choosing foods high in soluble and insoluble fiber is very important. And some of these foods include, oatmeal, whole grains, fruits, vegetables, roughage. All of that stuff is not only gonna make you feel fuller and more satiated, but it's gonna be very important to stabilize your blood sugar levels. This is why fiber is so important in the prevention of type 2 diabetes. Another reason why fiber is so important is because of the GI benefits. It's so important to get your fiber intake in to cleanse your GI and to promote GI health. So after tip number 1 is tip number 2, and that is water intake. As we increase fiber, we also need to increase water. I'm a gallon a day kind of girl, so I don't expect everyone to drink a gallon of water a day, but the CDC recommends about 2.5 liters for women and 3.5 liters of water per day for men. These are just guidelines, but I do recommend pushing fluids. It's so important in the prevention of kidney stones and preventing dehydration. I live in Charleston, South Carolina, where it's super hot, but because it's the summertime, we also just need to increase our fluids, and Americans especially are not getting enough water. All right, guys, so this brings me to top tip number 3, and that is reducing your processed food intake. This also includes artificial sweeteners and diet anything. To me personally, I feel that processed foods don't leave me full and satiated. So I want to encourage you guys to rely less on convenience foods, and that includes healthy snack and prepackaged foods as well that might be organic. I rarely eat protein bars, but when I do, I make sure that they're raw, preservative-free, and at all costs, I would, prioritize eating a meal before choosing a protein bar, and I think you guys should too. The standard American diet forces people to eat on the go, eat in the car, when in reality we should be sitting down and having a meal for about the same macros as a protein bar. 40 grams of carbohydrate, 20 grams of protein. You could be eating a real meal as opposed to a Cliff Bar. I really want to encourage you guys to eat less prepackaged, less processed foods. Piggybacking off of tip number 3 is tip number 4, and that is not cooking or using highly ultra-processed vegetable oils. These include vegetable oil, soybean oil, corn oil, canola oil. All of these are ultra-processed, not for your health, but to stabilize them and keep them on the shelf at the grocery store longer. Some alternatives that you can use for that are avocado oil, coconut oil, and you can also experiment with cooking without oil. I personally don't like to cook with a ton of oil. I use a spray or an air fryer. These are great ways to not only save on calories, but to promote your overall health. So that is tip number 4, is to minimize or completely cut out ultra processed oils. All right, guys, last but not least, this brings us to top tip number 5, and that's stop eating animal products. As some of you might have noticed, I am vegan, but even if you're not, it's my mission to help you guys incorporate some more plants into your life. I want to challenge you and inspire you guys to, explore your grocery store, choose some of the mock meats available, or, replacing some of the meals in your life that are meat-based and choosing legumes or lentils as substitutes. If you need more one-on-one coaching, I'd love to help you. If you just shoot me a DM on Instagram at Botanically Built, or if you don't have time for that, just hit the like and subscribe button below and tune in for weekly videos on how you can lean into a more plant-based life. I hope this video was helpful and inspiring, and if you made it this far into the video, I really appreciate it. If you guys have questions or comments, leave them down below, and until next week, don't forget to stay botanically built.